we're going to have to sing the national anthem, but it is unreasonable to sing the Yoruba national anthem while sitting down. So that's why we just have to stand up to sing the Yoruba national anthem. Thanks so much, guys, for joining me for day 15th of our campaign. So I'll just quickly go on to general information for a number of our members. So I just had a meeting with my barristers and my solicitor who are going to be representing me in court on Friday. One, we're going to be likely going to be an online court hearing. So I wouldn't have to appear in court. It will be via Zoom or what is called video link. So that's what we're going to do. Now, it's not a trial, it's pre-trial. We're just trying to get the lady who made the allegations against me. We're trying to get her to court. We're trying to get her to be cross-examined because of the background that has to do with the case. So whether the judge will approve of that, we don't know yet, because the police are pushing an argument that, look, anybody could have done it, regardless of the fact that she is the one who have done it, who is well known to me. So they might be saying, oh, she doesn't need to be in court, but we will have to push that. And I'm giving the general public this information because this case trial, it's elicited public interest, particularly in Yoruba land and amongst Yoruba people who are living abroad. So on Friday we'll be going to court. It's going to be a short trial to get some document from the police and then to get some of my things back and to try and bring that lady to court to be cross-examined. I actually want her to come to court to be cross-examined, but it depends on what the judges say. That is the beautiful thing that we've done. And we have witnesses. You know, there's a lot of Yoruba conservatives who want to support me in court, who will be coming to court to speak, to be cross-examined, to be asked questions in court about what I do, about our movement, and then we're preparing them now. A number of people have shown, I believe it been 27 people have shown interest, but we have to reduce that so that we'll bring the people that have shown a lot of support and commitment, who understand what we're doing. And we are apologizing in advance that it's not everybody that we can accommodate. I know a number of conservative Yoruba would like to be as a witness, but you guys can come when the trial starts. So on Friday we will get the trial date. I have not been charged for terrorism. For clarification purposes, it's racial hatred, and then I'm not pretending this is a very serious allegations against me. So we have to be up and doing and prepared for it so that we can win the case. And everything is tending towards 2023 because they are trying to stop our movement. They are trying to stop our voice. But aside the lady who is responsible for this stupidity, but we're going to paint a picture of the English establishment trying very hard to suppress and subjugate the Yoruba nation with this matter. But I believe that we're going to win, but we're going to have to go extra mile to prove our case. So we're really working every now and then. Believe you me, I've been working a lot in regards to that. Now, there's an election that was held in Edo State, and our party lost the election, which was very painful. But the most gratifying thing about that is that Edo land is not Yoruba land. It's just only one section, one local government. Out of the 18 local government there, Akoko Edo local government is purely Yoruba land, and it will be part of the Oduduwa Republic or the Yoruba region subsequently. So that local government delivered for APC Yoruba. We're very happy with what they've done. But we're now getting more findings. You see, there's been propaganda from the criminally minded Igbo and being spread by the Yoruba liberals saying that there is disagreement between Tinubu, Akeredolu, Fayemi, and Amosu. And they speak about this disagreement as if Tinubu is not aware. When they even talk about these, they talk about it and say, oh, don't let Tinubu hear all of these things. These are grown-ups. These are mature men. These are people who are governing over nations. They are not just ordinary folks. These are statesmen. If there is any disagreement between them, they know how to address this issue. So don't fall for the propaganda that it was Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State or Akeredolu of Ondo State and the former governor of Ogun State, Amosu Ibikunle, that they are the people that are responsible for the defeat of Yoruba APC in Edo State. No, these are just mere propaganda from the liberals supported by their horrible friends, the evil. Folks, you have to love and like. I don't know whether we're being flagged. So don't fall for that. Don't fall. Even as a movement, the Young Yoruba for Freedom, we have mechanism for addressing issues of disagreement between members and leadership of our team, which is called checks and balances. You understand? So you don't expect the caliber of Tinubu, the caliber of our governors who are ruling over nations, not to have a way to address issues between them. So these guys are not the people responsible for the defeat. We found out now that it is the Igbo people who constituted themselves into a nuisance, which they have always been. They are the people who rigged that election in Edo State. If you look at the margin of victory, it's very, very little. So it was done by the Igbo. We have information that a number of Igbo were recruited from Rivers State, from Anambra State, paid money, about 500,000 of them. They were paid money and they moved down to Edo State 2 months before the elections. Moved down to Edo State to get registered under Edo State INEC, saying that they are new in Edo State, they are moving newly into the state. So they were captured into the INEC. But because they are Igbo, their party is PDP. And that's why they were able to rig that election for Baseki. It was Igbo who moved in from their various states to Edo State. And sorry, Mike, what are you talking about? Get location change. What are you saying? Mike. Are you guys having problem from? I don't understand you. You're distracting me now. Why are you saying the location should be changed? So, okay, I thought you were talking about this because I think there's people flagging. Yeah, that was what it did on their PVC. Okay, I got you, Mike. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Adiola. That was what they did. They got their location change on their PVC. About 500,000 Igbo were mobilized for that job. This is the kind of dirty job they do. They're not saying they are going to repeat the same thing in Ondo State. And we have impressed it on the leadership of the Yoruba APC that we've been telling you to have a legislation in place. It is in our constitution. If you are not born in Yoruba land, you can vote. You have a legislation in place that anybody that is not Yoruba cannot vote. You understand? So Igbo had their PVC change. The location of their PVC change were Edo. So 500,000 of them were mobilized, and that was how we lost that election. So this is an opportunity for the Yoruba State House of Assembly to think long and hard, since our party, the APC Yoruba, is currently in control of the majority of the state houses. Why is it so difficult for us to do is this? We've been divided, we've been balkanized into little states. If we have had a regional government, one legislative house will have passed a bill into law that if you are not Yoruba, you cannot vote. But we have a big problem. Lagos State has to do its own separately because there's a separate state house of assembly. Likewise, Ogun State. Now you see what the Igbo are doing, because election has been so disorganized in Nigeria that you can have an election. You don't have election at the same time any longer. That's why the movement is very easy for the Igbo. Now we're going to have a Ekiti election in 2022, and then we have the general election in 2023. So if the Igbo want to disrupt our vote in Ekiti State, they can change the location of their PVC to Ekiti State, bust themselves in, and give the votes to the PDP. And this is the same thing they are planning to do. So APC Yoruba is getting involved into this thing very lately. But like I said, Lagos is the battleground. You know, yesterday, we identified certain things with you saying for Yoruba to go to war, they will have first agreed on to the weapon that they are going to use. And we have been saying that it's chemical and biological weapon. They will have agreed on about the theater of war, where the war will take place. It is Lagos. And they will have had allies. That's why we're lobbying America. You see, we're preparing for war, folks. If we don't take the presidency of Nigeria as Yoruba people, conservative, we will not be able to stop the excesses of the Igbo. The Igbo hate us. They are our number one enemy. So they made us to lose the Edo State. But I can assure you we're going to win on those states. They will have other means. You know, Buhari does not support Tinubu's prospect to be president, because Buhari knows that with that kind of power in the hands of Tinubu, it's going to be very difficult for the Hausa Fulani and the Igbo. You understand? So in Ondo State now, they are coming up with another strategy. We get this, but we have the means to finish all of these people. Lagos is in our hand. The stupid English who took Apapa War from us and Tinkerport in 1993, they can't dare it. Believe you me, I assure you. The English can't try that nonsense again. We finish them. They can't fight. They can't fight a single war. England cannot go to war with any country without NATO. And we're already telling America we're willing to partner with you. We give you a certain percentage of our wealth. You give us military backing. So this is something they are planning. Don't fall for their propaganda that Akeredolu and Fayemi and Amosu are people that are behind the defeat. No, in YYF we have disagreement. We have checks and balances. We know how to resolve things. We're human beings. There will be crisis in YYF. We can easily change leadership in YYF too. We know people who are very dedicated. So every organization, every institution have checks and balances to address issue of problem. You don't expect Tinubu not to pick up a phone and call Fayemi and say, come, let's talk. Or you expect Tinubu not to talk to Akeredolu. These guys are statesmen. That is what you don't know. So they know they are ruling over a nation. They cannot jeopardize the civilization of the Yoruba people. It was the Igbo who delivered that vote. And then we want to impress it on the Yoruba conservative. We are currently the ruling party in Yoruba land. We've lost a state. If you continue to play around the need to stop the mass migration of the Igbo into Yoruba land, it will be at the detriment of our children. the Yoruba liberals are focusing your attention on Fulani. Now, I have commissioned 3 undergraduate students to go and do vehicular movement of Hausa Fulani coming into Yoruba land, because we haven't done that before. We've done that of the Igbo, and 6.7 million Igbo are coming. Now, I've tried as much as possible to contact the Director General and CEO of Nigeria Bureau of Statistics via Twitter. He has not responded to me. We want to get, if they have done the research, we want to get the traffic, vehicular movement from the north. If we said the entire north, it will be doing disservice to this Hausa Fulani. We want to single it out to the number of people coming from Hausa Fulani into Yoruba. You will see that they are very, very little. Unlike the way and manner the Yoruba liberals are pushing their propaganda, saying Fulani have taken over Yoruba. It's actually Igbo who have taken over Yoruba. Everywhere in Yoruba and Igbo are there, and they are committing crime. Look at when the Lagos state government banned Okada in Lagos. They moved back to the north. Now, some of them are back in Ogun State. Some of them are in Oyo State. And this is causing trouble. A lot of people are being killed as a result of Okada accident. But when they were asked to leave Lagos, the Hausa Fulani moved back to their region because they have a proud place to go back to. Imagine if we stop second-hand clothing, if we stop street hawking in Lagos, or we stop Igbo from selling their fake spare part, they will be protesting on our street. They will never head back to Igbo land, which is a shithole. It's evil forests. But Hausa Fulani quickly went back to their own region when we banned Okada. So you see, we can easily control the Hausa Fulani. The problem of the Yoruba is the Igbo. Look at the way and manner they are pushing out the propaganda that it was Fayemi, Amosu, and Akeredolu who caused the defeats of APC in Edo State. How is that going to be possible? They were talking about, oh, they gave Obaseki billions of naira, and then so fucking what? You give Obaseki billions of naira doesn't translate into people queuing and voting for PDP. No, it was the Igbo who changed the location of their PVC. 500,000 of them mobilized, particularly from Rivers State and Anambra State, to come down to Edo State. That was what changed that. Now, they can repeat that in Ondo State, and I'm advocating for tit for tat. That's what we've always been believing. Igbo, you will not vote in Ondo State. We are conscious of one thing. Something happened to us as conservative. Akeredolu is married to an Igbo woman. The one that is in PDP is married to an Igbo woman too. We're so confused about this. Very confused, because what Akeredolu has done in Ondo State in respect of the action of his wife, we disagree with some of this. What I have advised is that we should allow him to secure a second-term vote and populate the State House of Assembly with conservative Yoruba APC, so that we can do checks and balances on him as governor. So we're still going to give our vote to the Yoruba APC. Don't allow the propaganda of the Yoruba PDP to fool you. Nobody is changing anything. Look, with the amount of money allegedly given to Obaseki, with the Igbo people trooping into Edo to come and vote for PDP, by changing their PVC location, we secure Akoko Edo. We've been telling you that Akoko Edo is Yoruba and his house. And we're going to get it back into Western region, or what we call Oduduwa Republic, or what we call Yoruba, whatever the name that we choose to give it when we have Tinubu as a president. So I'm saying to you, Igbo, you're not going to vote in Ondo State. Trust me. You know, there's nothing that I say that doesn't come to pass. I'm not God. We have been telling the leaders, this is what they want to do in Ondo State. So on the day of the election in Ondo State, it's going to be the most dangerous election in the history of Yoruba. I can tell you for that. Because you want us to lose, you PDP and Igbo people, Yoruba Libra and Hausa Fulani. You're saying that you are going to disgrace Tinubu. That will be the most deadliest election in the history of Yoruba. We're going to get Ondo State. However you want it. We believe in violence. If you are violating us, we'll violate you. We're not going to behave like our parent generation, folding their hands. You change your PVC location in order to come to Edo State and secure the vote, and you now think you are going to vote in Ondo State. No Igbo will vote in Ondo State. It will be decided by Yoruba people. If you come out on the day of election, you will have yourself to blame. Mark it down. You will have yourself to blame, Igbo. The election is coming. So, folks, that was how we lost the state. It is the influx of the Igbo who came to vote. Look at what happened during presidential election in 2019. Igbo people, this was struck by Imam Yoruba of Ilorin. He gave details of how Igbo people left Kwara, moved down to Lagos in order to vote massively for the PDP. Igbo people divided themselves into two camps. Some stay in their homeland, the other changed location of their PVC to Yoruba land. They capture all our state. The election was too close to call. Our own son defeated enemy Atiku and Obi with only 200,000 votes. Is that not reasonable enough for us to wake up? Is that not reasonable? The unity system is a detrimental political system to the greatness of the Yoruba nation. The unity system. It allows Igbo to move everywhere. You see, the division of Yoruba into state is making us to be very weak. Now, if Lagos State passes a law saying that Igbo cannot vote in Lagos State, what about Oyo State? What about Ondo State? What about Ogun State? What if their State House of Assembly did not pass the same law? So you see, unity system is difficult. If we go back to regional government, we don't need the states to pass this law. Only one legislature House of Assembly, which is the Yoruba Parliament, will just pass a law. Foreigners can vote, and it will be binding on all the provinces, which we call states. So the Igbo are using the unity system to destroy us. However you think about it, guys, you have to learn how to develop chemical and biological weapons, because the Hausa Fulani, they have the backing of the English, and they've already enlisted the support of the Chinese to build their chemical weapon. Now, you continue to go to church and think that Jesus Christ is going to save you. Jesus Christ died over 2,000 years ago. Every year, Jesus died 2,000. Nobody has ever told us Jesus Christ died 2012, 2003. They've never told us. It's always 2,000 years ago. Jesus died and he's not coming back. Don't let anybody bullshit you. He is never going to come back. He has served his own era. Some of us now are the Jesus Christ of our generation. That is the honest truth. So if you think that it is Jesus Christ that will save you from the determined and desperate attempt on the part of the Hausa Fulani and the Igbo to suppress and take over your land from you, you're joking. So I assure you, in Ondo State, Igbo won't vote. You'll see what will happen on that day. And I will still talk more about this Ondo State. If you come out in Ondo State to vote, believe you me, Igbo, you have yourself to blame. You know, I made the same statement over Lagos election. You will have yourself to blame, because we now realize that you change PVC location in order to massively vote for the PDP. You will lose on those states. So, folks, for how long are we going to continue to use weapon to win election in Yoruba land? For how long are we going to continue to use thugs? For how long are we going to do that? We are a civilized society. Civilized society uses policy. But we can't use any policy in Yoruba land. As executive governor of Lagos State or executive governor of Ondo State, you can't pass a law and say that Igbo can't vote. The federal government will tell you no, because the federal government is controlled by Fulani, and Fulani are using Igbo to retain the control of the presidency. So there is no way out of this doldrum other than war with the use of chemical and biological weapons. Don't fool yourself. There's no way around. You say to Hausa Fulani, let us decentralize the police so Yoruba control the police in Yoruba land. Put our children there. Hausa Fulani will tell you no. They want their children to work in the policing in Yoruba land. But okay, you not tell them, okay, if you want your children to work in the policing in Yoruba, let us also control the policing in Hausa Fulani land. They will tell you no. That was why that stupid old man, Amos Akingba, was saying yesterday, tó bá yẹ pé bí òyìnbó ṣe ń ṣe kò sí nǹkan tá a mú wá sáyé kò sí nǹkan tá a máa mú lọ àwọn dúdú àti gba Amẹ́ríkà mọ́ funfun lọ́wọ́ náà tó bá gbé bí English ṣe ń ṣe ni pé kò sí nǹkan tá a mú wá sáyé, kò sí nǹkan tá a máa mú lọ. Hitler àti gba England mọ́ ọ lọ́wọ́ náà, but àwọn wèrè liberal yìí bọ́ ṣe máa ń ṣe nìyẹn. Ó ní pé ká embrace enemy wa, wèrè ibi náà ti ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. So we want to give you a clear warning, Amos Akingba. Tó bá tún jáde tó bá sọ̀sọ̀kúsọ, àwọn boys bá wa ẹ̀ máa lù ẹ́ mọ́lé ni, wọ́n máa fọ́ orí ẹ̀ ni. Very stupid old man. Ó ní pé ká embrace enemy wa. Ó ṣe lọ sọ fún America kó embrace Iran, àbí kó sọ fún Israel kó embrace Iran. Iran tó fẹ́ pa wọ́n tó fẹ́ kàn exist. So why should we be using force in every election? It is because the Igbo are voting in Yoruba land, and they don't vote for conservative. They are voting for the Yoruba liberals, and we conservative, we want to win election too. There will be justice, peace, if only Yoruba people are allowed to vote in Yoruba land. Have you ever seen Yoruba people getting into buses, moving to Enugu to go and vote there? Do you see Yoruba people doing that? No, but you see Igbo trooping into Yoruba land to come and vote. What does that tell you? They want to enslave you, take your land from you. And the one way to do that is to sleep with your women. Another way to do that is to get involved in your politics, put Libra in power. And when you put Libra in power, you're destroyed. Look at that guy in Lagos, Babatunde Badamasi. He's a first-class Libra. That's why he's always losing election. He's contesting for senatorial seat now. He pandering to the dictate of the Igbo because he wants to win election. So if Igbo put him in power, he will be dictated to by these foreigners. So you see, we can never end election violence, or you call it electoral violence, until we stop foreigners from voting. And this is the challenge we've been pushing to the Yoruba PDP Liberal Party. If you know that Yoruba want you, then let us have a bipartisan legislation that says that no foreigners can vote in Yoruba land except Yoruba people. No PDP will support that legislation because they've always been winning election through the Igbo. And we're going to solve this with force. Don't let anybody fool you. We're going to use force to stop these foreigners from voting. We've lost Edona. It's a big lesson. We know how the election in 2023 is going to be. We know the Fulani will troop in to PDP, but we're going to take that party from you. We're already encouraging full-blooded Yoruba and PDP to think about their descendants. They are not half Yoruba, half Igbo, or half Yoruba, half Fulani. If they allow mixed race to take over the control of their political party that will jeopardize the future of their children, then their children will be enslaved in Yoruba land, and already we're slaves abroad. Am I not living like a slave? Am I not living like a slave in England? If I'm not a slave, how can I wait in a country to be arrested eight consecutive times by their police? 8 times. Check is only normal arrest van. Check is a talk normal arrest van. So we arrest a lady, want to fund you, want to log me, or to look to my lord Jali. Only no arrest van, come arrest a lot a major and into car to the pay to the auto to sorrow in public. Not about the young robber. Check what you can call because the Bapa has said Yoruba and Fulani Matimi more prison. So why pay Yoruba the president Nigeria or be pay Malu Madrus England the emejo. In talking about the arrest me learn about Matthew Deco ma 40 a lot of English and marry ma 4 down on Lori. Lu won shele ti won say president to as a revenge because mo shame go. So we are going to continue to use force in every of our electoral process as long as foreigners continue to vote in Yoruba land. It is these foreigners that we're up against. If the PDP accept this bipartisan legislation for non-Yoruba not to vote in Yoruba land, there will be peace. So those of you who don't like violence, if you want peace, then let us stop Igbo from voting in Yoruba land. But I assure you, we're not joking with the election in Ondo State. Even though we have been bossed to a corner, both candidates are married to Igbo. It's very ridiculous. It's a shame. Because Yoruba women need money. But notwithstanding, you Igbo will not participate in the Ondo State election. You bet this with me. Because we're very upset about what happened in Edo State. You try to come out in Ondo State to come and vote, you will be dealt with because Ondo State is Yoruba land. It has to, the election there must be decided by Yoruba people. it must be decided by Yoruba people. Now, let me give you this. Sorry, I'm trying to do. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah. Let me give you this information that this is what a number of people you don't know. In Africa as a continent, when the colonial talks from England, France, Germany, Belgium, and others, about 7 of them, when they came, took control of the entire African continent. We're not the only continent that they rule. They rule Asian continent too. They rule South American continent too. But when they had power throughout Africa, these Europeans were ruling as governor generals. They are appointed to represent their host government. They are to represent their governments in this African country. In all of these countries in Africa, Yoruba was the first to gain self-rule, Yoruba nation. The first indigenous governor in Africa and throughout the Commonwealth, including India, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. The first indigenous governor was the Oni of Ife. So that is how the English respected us. Not that they respected us, we fought for this, we fought against them. They respected our obas. But today, the Igbo rubbish our obas and make our obas far worse off than local government chairman. So the first indigenous governor in Africa and Commonwealth was the Oni of Ife, Oba Adesoji Aderemi, who were the first to get self-rule from the colonial people. So look at that. A people that were the first to achieve this in the entire African continent. Today, we are being suppressed by minority Fulani and minority Igbo. You understand? If you're asking me why our people, somebody said, why was our people colonized? If you're asking me that at this age, there's so much for you to learn. And I cannot answer that, I'm sorry. So you see, guys, for a people that were able to produce the first indigenous governor in Africa and Commonwealth, then not to be an independent country, to be subsumed under Nigeria, being led by minority Fulani with the backing of the Igbo. Folks, our generation have a lot to do, and we're going to only do this, believe you me, with organized violence. Without organized violence, forget it. We're not going to get our way out of this doldrum. How can foreigner be voting in Yoruba land, putting horrible people? I don't think you know this. Those of you who are full-blooded Yoruba, both of your parents are Yoruba. You are a full-blooded Yoruba. In abroad that you live, you are not first-class citizen. Now, what makes you first-class citizen in Yoruba land where Fulani and Igbo have taken over your space? You are not first-class citizen anymore. So if you are a true child of your father, you will fight for freedom. Because if we continue to put Libra in power, who are half Igbo, half Yoruba, they will destroy all of us that are full-blooded Yoruba. They will destroy us because they will be scared of us forever. So we must stop these people. We must stop this. Now, I want to quickly teach you something about profiso. Some of us don't have this idea of profiso. If you have a copy, I think we're having a problem. I think people are flagging us. So it will be darkened at the end of the day when I'm done with these things. I think people are flagging us Igbo, and they are flagging us through the page of Wawire because they can't get into my page. That is it. They can't write, they can't do anything. So, guys, if you have a copy of the Constitution, I want you to turn to page 175. It's very, but I want to teach you something about profiso, and I specifically do this. And this is how I'm going to tell you this. Please love and share. Please love. Love and share, people. They're flagging us seriously, so it's at the end of the day, it might not be very clear. It might be blur or something like that. But these Igbo people, we don't go to their page or profile. We don't go. But they come to us because we're speaking the truth. We want to chase them out of Yoruba. They don't like it. Yet they don't want to support our political interests. They don't want to support our political. Kindly remove them. And those of admin who are on Young Yoruba for Freedom and Facebook page, can you please remove them as well? You just block these Igbo people off. Guys, I'm trying to teach you something called profiso. There's always a provision in Constitution. We had that profiso in the Nigerian Constitution that was made in 1959. The Ijaw people, they were not comfortable in 1954. They were not comfortable with being part of Eastern Nigeria with Igbo. The Southern Cameroon, they used to be part of Eastern Nigeria with Igbo. Because of the greediness of the Igbo, the Eastern Cameroon, the Southern Cameroon, the Southern Cameroon used to be part of the Eastern region of Nigeria. They opted out because of the Igbo. In 1954, the Ijaw went to the Queen and reported the fact that they don't want to be part of Eastern region, that they want their own region, that the Igbo, they don't like them because of their greediness and their criminal nature. In the Eastern Region Assembly, Igbo were the majority by 90%. Igbo, they were majority by 90%. They put only Igbo there, where they have Efik, Ibibio, and Ijaw, and the rest of them. So the Ijaw went to the Queen in 1954, reported to the Queen that they don't want to be part of Eastern Region. So the Queen sent a representative to come and do an assessment of the minority. So the assessment was done in 1957. The recommendation was in 1958 that says that the Eastern region will be divided into three: Igbo region, Efik Ibibio region, and Ijaw region. The Western region, which is Yoruba, will be divided into two: Western region and Midwest. Midwest that only include Edo and Urobo, without Akoko, Edo, and Ishekiri. And the Northern regions, the recommendation was that it will be divided. It be divided into five: Hausa region, Kanuri region, Western Middle Belt, Central Middle Belt, and Eastern Middle Belt. So making 10 regions. The Igbo and the Fulani said to the English that, no, don't worry, when we had our independence in 1960, we will divide this by ourselves. The Yoruba were like, no, let us divide it now. But because of the ulterior motive of Zik and Hausa Fulani, because Hausa Fulani don't want the North to be divided, they want to suppress and subjugate the minority there. So because of these two people, greediness and the ulterior motive, they convinced the English that the English should leave. By 1960, when we had independence, we would do that. So that proviso was done in that constitution. Then immediately after we had independence, under 1 year, April 1962, April 1961, I will all move a motion that we should respect this proviso. There was a vote in the parliament. It was a voice vote. Like you said, I've explained this to you. So Awolowo won. So these three regions were to be divided into 10. Zik met with Balewa and said, no, it was a voice vote. We are not going to accept it. So Obasanjo repeated. He represented the same bill in 1962 May, that this be divided. It passed at the parliament, but the Igbo and Hausa were shocked. So what happened? That was when they instigated the crisis in the Western region. They only divided Western region. That's why we have Midwest. They didn't divide the Eastern region and the Northern region. We also have proviso in the Western Nigerian Constitution. That's why I asked you to open to page 75, section 33. But I'm going to get there. But let me tell you a story or history about what happened that led me to come and show you that thing. You see, on the 19th of May, 1962, at a meeting of the Executive Committee of the Action Group. Now, Action Group is a conservative political party led by Awolowo. So Awolowo had resigned in 1959 to go into the federal government as opposition leader. He handed over to his colleague, Ladoke Akintola. Awolowo, a Christian, Ladoke Akintola, a Christian. But Awolowo is not that Christian. Awolowo is actually an Orisha, but he goes to Rosicrucian, but it's an Orisha at the end. But there was a problem. So on the 19th of May 1962, at the meeting of the Executive Committee of the Action Group, Awolowo accused Akintola of unilateral appointment of ministers into cabinet of Western region. You cannot appoint minister into the cabinet of Western region without talking to Awolowo, who is the leader of the Action Group. You cannot appoint, you need to clear some names with Awolowo first, then you take this to the Oni of Ife. But Akintola unilaterally appointed cabinet minister. These are allegations that Awolowo leveled against him at the Executive Committee of the Action Group. That is not the only thing Akintola did. Akintola reduced the price of cocoa. You know, Awolowo was so smart. He created the marketing board. We have rubber marketing board, cocoa marketing board, and the rest of marketing board. So Awolowo government will purchase cocoa from the farmer at international prevailing price. And they will now use this to produce finished goods or keep them in storage and sell in the international markets. So that was the deal. So it was good for farmer to be very rich. So anything they planted, the government of Western region will buy it, everything. So the farmers are very wealthy. Akintola made a ridiculous mistake. He reduced the price of cocoa. So farmers who had planted their cocoa and planned based on the price that they are going to sell it to the Western region government, Akintola then reduced that. There was a crisis in Yoruba. That was another allegation Awolowo leveled against Akintola. That's not the only thing. There was a flat rate tax. Whether you are old or young, you must pay this flat rate. I think it's about 49 cents. Every adult, age of 18, you must pay that tax. It's flat rate tax. Akintola reduced that tax. That tax was used to provide public goods. Akintola reduced that, which he never cleared with Awolowo. Now, everybody above the age of 18 must be eligible for tax if you are working. Then Akintola exempted women from paying taxes, saying that women should not pay tax. So these were ridiculous. How do you sustain a society? At that time, the majority of the population was women. So how do we provide public goods? He made all of these decisions without clearing with the leader of the party. The leader of the party is Awolowo, but he was at the federal level. Akintola was at the regional level. Another thing that Akintola did was he increased the local contribution in the Western Nigeria Secondary Grammar School. Every areas in Yoruba land, you must contribute certain amount of money to the running of secondary school, grammar school. He reduced this money. But none of this was clear with Awolowo, and Awolowo was very upset. So there was the meeting of the executive of the action group. Awolowo spoke for 4 hours in support of the charges against Akintola. Akintola spoke for 3 hours in his defense, and he denied all the charges. So the jury were appointed by the party executive. Then the jury looked at the 2 arguments and concluded that there must be a motion on Akintola, and the motion was calling on Akintola to resign as premier. Akintola camp moved a counter motion for the premier not to resign, but to be reprimanded. He accepted he has made mistake. The jury of the party called for his removal as premier. Akintola group said, okay, we accepted, mistakes have been made, but rather than remove him as premier, you should just reprimand him. So there was a vote. It was 81 to 29. 81 people who were members of the executive committee of the action group voted to remove Akintola as premier. 29 voted against that. Then you expected Akintola to move on. We're going to go back to section 33 of the Western Nigeria Constitution. Very beautiful things. I'm talking about proviso. It's a special arrangement that has been made on something that will happen in future. Akintola did not resign. He did not. He refused to resign. Then the larger members of the parliament, we call them Yoruba parliament. They used to be called House of Assembly. Western Nigeria House of Assembly, but we're calling them Yoruba Parliament now. The entire parliament voted. "66 members out of 112 voted to have Akintola removed as premier. So he lost twice. It's a simple thing to do. It's unfortunate that Akintola is no longer alive today, Awolowo is no longer alive today, but their actions led to a lot of terrible tragedy that has happened to the Yoruba nation. So that's why the Yoruba liberal will have to think long and hard and stop being irresponsible. So it was 66 members out of 112 voted against Akintola and asked him to leave. And they presented the signature of these 66 people to the Oni of Ife as the governor. Now, if you look at the provision, this is section 33, subsection 1 of the Constitution of Western Nigeria. It says, there shall be a premier of the region who shall be appointed by the governor. You see, it is Oni of Ife who must appoint the governor. The governor exercised his constitutional power and removed Ladoke Akintola as the premier. I will not tell you the name of the man that he appointed. He appointed the third premier of Yoruba. The first premier of Yoruba was Awolowo. The second premier was Akintola. The third one we have done. I told you Awolowo, a Christian, Rosicrucian Christian, but he doesn't do Christianity, he's an Orisha man. Akintola is also a Christian, but he also believes in Orisha. These guys are Orisha adherent. Number 3 is Dauda Adegbero, Alhaji Dauda Adegbero. He was the first Muslim and also an Orisha adherent to be so appointed by head of state Oni of Ife as the premier. But I'm going to somewhere. I said Alhaji Dauda Adegbero. Yeah, you listen. Rather than for Akintola to leave honorably, he went out. He went out and made a press statement. He made 3 demands. He said that he remains the premier. He called on Balewa, who was the prime minister of Nigeria, to remove Oni of Ife as the governor of Western region. And he then filed an action in court to restrain the Oni from removing him from office. These things are very interesting. But I have said section 33, section 33, I didn't make mention. I read subsection 1 that says that it is the governor, which is Oni of Ife, who must appoint the premier. If you look at subsection 10, this is what it says. Subsection 10. Subject to the provision of subsection 9 of this section, the minister of the government of the region, other than the premier, notice, other than the premier, shall hold office during the governor's pleasure, but the governor shall not remove such a minister from office except in accordance with the advice of the premier. Now, this section 10, section 33, subsection 10, Subsection 10 of section 33 says that the governor, which is Oni, can remove the minister on the advice of the premier. But there's one thing that is silent in this constitution. It is the proviso, which I have found out for you. You know how I found out? I read the ruling of the previous council when Akintola challenged Yoni of Ife to court. You know what previous council is? The Supreme Court of the United Kingdom, this country that I'm sitting in. They don't call it Supreme Court. Then it was called Previous Council. They recently changed the name when Tony Blair was Prime Minister. You see, we know a lot of information. That's why we are better than Libra. That's why you are listening to us when we talk. There was the proviso that the Attorney General of Western Region read out at the previous council during the hearing. The proviso says the governor shall not remove the premier from office unless it appears to him that the premier no longer commands the support of a majority of the member of the House of Assembly. So Oni of Ife had the right at that point in time to remove Akintola as the premier of Yoruba land. But something happened, folks. The third premier that was appointed and sworn in as our premier, Alhaji Dauda Adegbenro, was a Muslim. Regardless of Muslim religion, Akintola, with the connivance of Igbo, and I said Akintola, Balewa, a Fulani man, with the support of Zik Igbo, removed Alhaji Dauda Adegbenro as premier of the Yoruba Western region. That led to a big crisis that consumed Nigeria eventually. Now, that is not the reason why I'm saying this alone. The reason why I'm saying this alone, I want to impress it on the Yoruba Muslims. You know, I abuse a lot of Yoruba Pentecostal Christians. As a matter of fact, I don't like them. They're a very terrible set of people. Majority of them, not every one of them, because they are the people that are the highest, that have the highest number of Libra that are destroying Yoruba. But let me say this to you, Yoruba Muslim. Alhaji Dauda Adegbenro was a Muslim. Balewa, a Muslim. Ahmadu Bello, a Muslim. Yet, they removed a Muslim premier of Yoruba land and replaced him with a Christian premier. Do they think about religion then? No, they think about their own self-preservation. Because Akintola has fallen out from the majority of the MP that we elected, he needed Hausa Fulani to help him to hold on to power. Hausa Fulani realized that they could use him as an inroad into Yoruba land and take over the politics. So they do what? They reinstated him as premier. He was a Christian. What happened? MKO Abiola, he used his newspaper, Concord newspaper, to attack Awolowo during the 1979 election. He gave the highest funding to MPN, Hausa Fulani Party, for Shagari to conduct election. Anyway, Shagari lost that election because Obasanjo rigged Awolowo out of that election. But when it was the turn of Abiola in 1983, because the agreement Abiola had with the Hausa Fulani in 1979 is that I support you. In 1983, I will contest. He gave them all the money he had. But Abiola, a Muslim man, the Hausa Fulani fucked him up in 1983. No, nobody gives us power easily. It is you, Libra, that are shit. You don't believe in organized violence. But Fulani are killing you with guns. People are coming to your homeland to operate as criminals. You expect me to fold my hand? I hope you come to court and come and witness that trial. My barrister she's very good. We're preparing for it. We don't know what the outcome is going to be. But folks, I've been reading a lot. I will speak that. I just hope. No, our media crew, they've informed me that they are coming to court. They are not in London. They are coming from Nigeria. They are coming from other European countries. It's going to be a big trial. You will see the brain power of the Yoruba nation at that trial. We know a lot. We're going to expose a lot at that trial. I'm saying to Yoruba Muslim, Hausa Fulani are Muslim. They deny MK Abiola in 1983. After 1983, he contested again in 1993, 10 years after. He won the election. He built mosques for them in Hausa Fulani land. He did everything for them. They killed his Muslim wife, Kudirat Abiola. They assassinated Abiola himself. Why? Fucking self-preservation. You understand? Our generation will destroy that country. You'll see. We are not like our parents. We're going to use chemical and biological weapons to defend Yoruba civilization. You have killed too many of our leaders. We will stop it. Fulani don't care about religion. They care about self-preservation. If Tinubu is the president of Nigeria, he will control Yoruba ports. He will not allow Fulani to be the one in charge. If Tinubu is the president of Nigeria, he will control the customs in Yoruba land. He will never allow Hausa Fulani to be in charge. If Tinubu is the president of Nigeria, he will control the immigration in Yoruba land. He will put Yoruba there. He will put Yoruba in the custom in Yoruba land. He will put Yoruba to control the seaport in Yoruba land. Yoruba will control the airport in Yoruba land. Yoruba will control the taxes collected in Yoruba land. Fulani don't want to give up these. Don't be silly. You need to get chemical and biological weapons. We're going to defend our homeland. Yesterday, the two liberals who participated at that program with me, Mrs. Aolo Odosumo and Mr. Amos Akimba, both of them were saying that, oh, Hausa Fulani and Igbo don't have waterways. They were saying it. Is it not the same information that we all have been passing across? They don't have waterways, but they are the one controlling Yoruba waterways, Hausa Fulani and Igbo, when you are washing toilet in England. Foreigners are controlling your wealth. I'm a foreigner in England. How come I'm not in charge of their government? How come I'm not in charge of their port? How come the Yoruba in England are doing shit jobs? If you want freedom, you must be willing to destroy. When you destroy, you will rebuild. Hiroshima was destroyed. Kawasaki was destroyed. London that you want to live here in, it was destroyed. New York was once destroyed completely. Lagos must go down. So Yoruba Muslim, it's nothing to do with religion. Religion is not your nationality. Religion is not your ethnicity. Fulani don't care about whether you are Muslim or not. Fulani are scared with Tinubu controlling the presidency of Nigeria. The English are pissing off in their trouser. Tinubu as president of Nigeria, a lot of contract will be stopped that the English are controlling. English are selling uniform to your military. They are selling shoes to your military. They are selling weapons to your military. English are the one controlling the crude oil that belongs to Yoruba land. You think these people want full-blooded Yoruba as president? And because you lack simple knowledge and you don't embrace people with brain power. When you sell your fucking crude oil that belongs to Yoruba, 35% of NNPC proceeds from sales of crude oil belong to Yoruba people. That's the highest one nation can get. Where do they think they keep the money? Fucked up in London. The English are using it to build houses for their own people. They keep the money in their treasury, in their banks. They give the money to their own businesses to set up business, to build houses, to build roads, to do all manners of things. The money are just resting there. Some of this money, you don't get it back because the English will jar Fulani with warning. If you talk too much, you lose the presidency. The English are controlling your wealth, Yoruba. Only organized violence will free you. That Apapa War, think about it must go down if you want to do a republic. If you want Yoruba to be free, you must shut down those two places, including Lagos International Airport and the stock exchange. You know the wealth that will be lost in stock exchange. You just shut that place down. Everything. When people are cheating you, they expect you to fight. They will respect you when you fight. We know how to. They go and watch all of my videos since 2015. I've been making videos since 2011. Unfortunately, the police have shut down my whole YouTube, where I have 5,000 subscribers. I'm just building a new one. Go and watch my videos. I've been saying to you that Fulani will not give power, that the option is the United States of America. The option is organized violence. They won't give you people who are controlling your police. Forget it. The God Almighty, not the Christian God or the Muslim God, no. The Eledumare that we believe in Yoruba. Anyway, God is one. That our own Eledumare is very, very kind to us, to have brought in who believes in organized violence. If he doesn't believe in organized violence, he would have lost Lagos in 2003 when Obasanjo came out with police and military. An idiot that are abusing MC Oluomo today, 2003, they were the people who stood the test of time for the Yoruba nation and helped us to secure Lagos. They are now enjoying today, you are now abusing them. So folks, Awusa Fulani remove Alhaji Dauda Adegbenro from office as your third prime minister. I don't like to call them premier. Your third prime minister. Fulani remove him, yet he's a Muslim. Fulani deny MK Abiola the presidency, the nomination of the MPN in 1983, yet he funded Shagari campaign. He funded Shagari government. He abuses Awolowo, used his Concord newspaper to disparage Awolowo. In 1983, what happened? Fulani said to him that the presidency of Nigeria is not for the highest bidder, because they have the fucking backing of the irresponsible English establishment who are giving them weapon. It is weapon you use to control people. Weapon. What happened again in 1993? Abiola won the election. They annulled it. They killed him. You know why they killed him? Easily nothing happened. Because English support them. Because the Democrat shit party in America, they support Fulani. We're asking Yoruba in America to kill behind President Trump. And I can make a prediction. If President Trump wins on the 3rd of November, 2020, Tinubu will be president in 2023. Mark it down. If President Trump wins, we started negotiating with America, but as a movement, we don't even have enough money to pay for the services of guys that are working for us. People are working for a while. I want to pay them salary because I'm ashamed that these guys are using their personal wealth. But we can't pay them. And I send them, I give them responsibility like I'm Tinubu. I just tell them things to do, they do it. People with passion. That's why our movement is so powerful. But I want to pay this guy money. I hope God is going to bless us in such a way that we'll be able to pay them. And some of them are coming to London for the trial. So we're going to be able to meet up and enjoy ourselves and drink beer after the victory. And I hope I get victory in court. You understand? We're going to war. Don't be idiots. And we're going to start with the Yoruba Libra. We're saying to you, on those state election, Igbo, come out on that day. Come out on that day to come and vote. Maybe you have changed the location of your PVC and you are successful in Edo. Come out on that election day in Ondo to come and vote. You will see what the Yoruba will do to you. So you see the proviso, your constitution that the Igbo suspended, believe me, is the best gift our grandparents gave to us. That constitution is what our grandparents gave to us. So folks, let's go to chapter 3. And we talk on chapter 3 today, and then we moved on from there. In chapter 3 of the Constitution, you know, we spoke about chapter 2 yesterday, it talks about executive powers. Exercise of executive authority of the region, which relies on the Oni of Ife. Minister of government of the region. We used to have our own ministers. It is not federal ministers like you have this. You have minister for finance, minister for this. We have our own. We were a nation. Igbo reduce us. That's why they can vote in Yoruba land now. That's why they have their shops all over Yoruba land. You understand? We were a nation. Igbo brought you down. the stupid Yoruba Libra that were shouting Odi Oduduwa Republic. You were once a nation. The Igbo people that you are working with destroy your nation. You see establishment of executive council, collective responsibility, allocation of portfolio to ministers. We had our own ministers. I told you, reading this constitution, Yoruba, we used to have our own ambassadors. The visa that you get coming to Yoruba land is different from the visa that you will be given coming to Igbo land. They do the same thing here in United Kingdom. I don't think I have currency here. I will have shown you. The currency they spend in England is different from the currency they spend in Scotland, yet they are in the same country called UK. But everything is different, including their football team. But you want to put Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa Fulani as one. They are always preaching one Nigeria because they are stealing your wealth. I just look at myself. I have children. Now they are growing up in England. When they were born, they faced discrimination because they were not recognized because of their father. I don't have paper. Because I don't have paper, my children do not have any stay in this country until they turn 7. They were eligible for British passport until they turn 10. They have already faced discrimination from day one of their life. This is not their homeland. It will never be. If my son should go to university, I want him to go to St. Andrews University in Scotland. It's a very good university. He came out with, if he comes out with, say, first class, can he be governor of Bank of England when there are thousands of English with first class as him? He will not be taken. He will not be selected. This is not his homeland. This is something you need to put into your forehead. If you are a loving father, you will fight in defense of Yoruba land. Some people will be, our parents don't know what the pains that will go through abroad. You wake up every day of your life to speak English, yet I'm Yoruba citizen. I can't speak Yoruba with anybody. You go onto the street, English. At home, English. Everything English. You can't speak Yoruba. And you don't want to fight for the freedom of your own nation. We're talking about a constitution of the Yoruba people. What does that tell you? We are a nation independent of the federal government. Igbo destroyed this, yet Yoruba Libra are still hobnobbing with Igbo. Every of their noise is Fulani, 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 Fulani. It is Igbo who are trooping into your space more than Fulani. It is the Igbo that have taken all over your shops from your women, not Fulani. It is Igbo who are constituting armed robbers, killing you, not Fulani. Fulani Okada people are now joining them to kill you. To kill you as well. We continue to talk only focusing on Fulani people, focusing on cattle, when Igbo are the major criminals in Yoruba land. Look at the way they defeated us in Edo. Edo is not Igbo land. The Oba of Benin is a Yoruba citizen, a descendant of Oromia. His brother is the current Oni of Ife and the current Alaafin of Oyo. The same father gave back to them, but different mother. The same father gave back to them. Other than that, we should have won that state, but the Igbo came, changed the PVC, the location of their PVC, and just delivered the vote for the PDP. That's the same thing they've been trying in Lagos. Imagine if Lagos election, governorship election, is done separately after other elections have been concluded. Conservative would never win. So we're going to war. Don't let anybody bullshit you. Give us back our constitution if you don't want war. But nobody will give us back except our own son, Tinubu. So you see, we talk about the allocation of portfolio to ministers, performance of function of premier during absence. You remember when the premier is not available, it is the governor, which is Ooni of Ife, who must appoint his replacement. That was why we told you that Femi Fani-Kayode was lying. He was lying. His father was never the deputy premier of Yoruba land. No, that position never existed in the constitution of your Western region. We sympathize with him that he's having problem with his family unit now. We sympathize with him. The exercise of governor's power. governors to be informed concerning matter of government. That is the law. It's part of our constitution. Everything that happens in Yoruba land every day, Oni of Ife must be informed. It doesn't even know what is happening in his local government in Ife. It doesn't have a clue. Nobody is informing him. Igbo destroyed this constitution. The English that we hate so much, that we call racist because of slavery and colonialism, they respected our obas. The English, they respect because they also have obas. So they know the importance of obas. That's why they put Oni of Ife as the highest political reckoning in Yoruba land. Igbo don't have kings, but go and watch their movie. They are also using Irukere and Ade, people who don't have kings. Having movies showing Igwe idiots, people who have never had such a civilization. You understand? They destroy your homeland, your nation. The Yoruba Libra are not educated. You know, they are half Igbo. Majority of them, they even use Yoruba name. Majority of them are not Yoruba. They don't have education. The same Igbo who destroyed their constitution, they are the people that they are hobnobbing with, shouting Oduduwa Republic up and down, really, antagonizing Tinubu. They are even saying, but Tinubu should join us. He should help us to get Oduduwa. Go and get it yourself, and you look for Ketu. Abiola Panier, and you really. There was a time this stupid man who called himself David Hamilton, he was saying in one of his videos, even Adeyinka can contest for presidency, we will support him. Watitani. Adeyinka can contest for presidency, you support him. And you warn me. You have to so nakedly when you will fight for you, but that's of me. I'm liberal on that Yoruba. Also, me pay me obudo ba libra she. When she saw me on Heritage Dream program yesterday, she saw the video this morning. She was shouting, but I warned you not to. And I told her, no, I wasn't with them. I was in the comfort of my own house. She then relaxed. You want me, don't associate with Libra. Now that you have understood, you have been able to tell the world that it is the Yoruba Libra that are destroying Yoruba. Don't associate with them, otherwise they'll kill you. You know, women can see far than we do. That's why you won't see me in company of Libra. You won't see me because I won't go because I'm the one who look for you. And show us up big time. Taba Kayimo corner. Taba lo Kayimo because last card let me play. So you see, the governor to be informed concerning matter of government, which is not done anymore. Parliamentary secretaries, votes to be taken by ministers, permanent secretaries, constitution of offices for region, prerogative of mercy, establishment of advisory council on prerogative of mercy. Believe me, if we're still practicing regional government, which we are going to go back to if Tinubu secure the presidency of Nigeria, see, that prerogative of mercy will not be to commute death sentence to life imprisonment. We should be an advanced society. We should not be killing people if they have even committed the most grievous offense. We should just be given people life sentences. But if you are not Yoruba and you kill people in Yoruba and you get the death penalty, that will be for a lot of Igbo people. But if you are Yoruba, you committed such a grievous offense, and then we're going to test your brain, we're going to test your mental state of mind, and you're likely going to get life imprisonment. I don't support death penalty for Yoruba people in Yoruba land, except if you're a foreigner, you commit any grievous offense in Yoruba land, it's death sentence. Nobody's going to keep you for life and be feeding you. No, we're not going to do that. The function of advisory council and public prosecution. So folks, let us end this today. We've ended chapter 3. We're just reviewing this constitution, and a lot of you haven't yet read. Somebody said to me, grandson, you need like a constitution. Constitution, the man is in I forgot the country name now. Constitution but you did a very good job. You guys have to support us. That's what we keep saying to you. You support your best brain. Nǹkan tó yìnbó fi better yín nìyẹn. Tó yìnbó bá rí ẹni tó smart, tó pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ lórí ẹ̀. Wo kò ní ní problem ilé, kò ní ní problem bills, kò ní ní problem family, kò ní ní problem wọ́n á kàn lò, wọ́n á squeeze ẹ̀, wọ́n á lo ọpọlọ ẹ̀ títí tó máa fi pé bí 90 years tó máa fi kú. Á ti ṣàǹfààní fún gbogbo a lot of generation. But Yoruba, Libra, wọ́n máa fẹ́ pa Yoruba conservative, náà dẹ̀ máa gbẹ̀mí this time around. So guys, thank you very much. I'm going to see you tomorrow. Today is day 15, if I'm right. So we have 5 days to go. And so I have to personally call a lot of people tonight because I don't think I'm going to be going to court on Friday. It's going to be via video link. I'll sit in the comfort of my house and then I'll be speaking to my barrister and the judge. Actually, we just wanted to bring the lady to court and for her to write witness statement and to ask the court for some things. But the police might have another thing because we are painting a picture of about custody battle. That is it. It's a serious one. And my barrister, she's very good about that. And that is what this is all about. And I raised a lot of fundamental issues during our section today with my barrister and my solicitor. Guys, it's very tough, you know. It's very tough. So we wish me the best of luck. The trial is going to be next year, but we're going to prevail. I want me to give you a gist about my mom said when my mom called me today, she told me about something else, and then she said to me, Mami ba baba kini kan sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn pastor ni wọ́n ti lọ gbàdúrà pa ìyá ẹ̀ ó ti lọ gbàdúrà pa gan mo ní look àdúrà tẹ̀ ń gbà yẹn nígbà tí mo ń sọ fún yín lọ́dọ̀ yẹn tó ọmọ yẹn máa ń pọlọ́pàá sí mi pé kẹ́ ṣe iṣẹ́ fún àwọn pípò ìgbéko kẹ́ dì pẹ̀lú wọn rányàn máa lọ máa gbàdúrà pa mo ní look tèmi bá sẹ́ńdọ̀ ó sì ń tẹ́ wá fún pastor kan tí n bá fi lè mọ̀ mi ò sẹ́ńdì kọ́ bọ́ọ̀ sí yín mọ̀ gbàdé kẹ́ ṣínà fún àwọn ṣínà fún ẹ̀ máa lọ church ẹ̀ máa gbàdúrà èmi tí mo ń prepare fún court case court trial tí mo ní sleepless night wọ́n ẹgbẹ́ ti ṣe nǹkan tí mo ní kẹ́ ṣe nígbà yẹn kẹ́ dì pẹ̀lú àwọn people yìí wọ́n ní ní boldness láti máa pọlọ́pàá sí mi everyday tó ti pẹ́ àwọn máa go through trial. So guys, oh my God, how you were on the fuck wrong? What the fuck you Igbo? I speak nothing but the truth, yeah. You know, you are criminals. You are the people who destroy. Igbo, they are always abusing me. We're going to show you. Yeah. So guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'm really glad to see you tomorrow for day 16. Love you.